But let's face it, there is at the moment a certain struggle I perceive. On the one hand, we have the PMI with the PMBOK, with the M.O.R.E concept, expecting more of the project manager and positioning the project manager as a counterpart, as a peer, no, I shouldn't say peer, but as a counterpart, as a conversation partner to the executive management for the value conversation. Prior, that was meant for the program managers, for the portfolio managers, now it's as well the project manager. So basically, and there are proponents out there, like for the Labi, for example, get your seat on the table where decisions are made. Be in the room where the decisions are made as a project prior to the project start.
Yes,
good concept.
Yeah.
But I see as well a certain pushback from some really say, hey, stay in your lane.
Yeah, who the hell
You're
are
a project manager. What are you doing here at our table? Get out. We tell you once we have made at the table our decision, we walk out and tell you what to do. There's as well this push. And at the moment, these things push against each other. I'm very supportive of being at the table, but there are different opinions on that one.
Yes, Mark will like that. I would be not such a big fan, or differently said, I'm a big fan of clarity. Yeah, the thing in my ear actually stands for clarity.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of clarity. I think it's key, especially in a dynamic environment. You said systemic when you think about a system, and the change towards a stronger value focus, for me, blurs a line between project management and product management. And there's people who say that's the same. For me, it's not the same. And but just talking about this sitting on the table, I would want to be at the table from initiation and so on. And of course, when you think about the end of the project, you said long term before, right? I think it's also important for the project manager to consider the sustainability element of a project. You said impact, right? It's actually one of the new elements that has been put to the top level to think about sustainability. So those two parts of a project are important to sit at the table, but to me it comes down to accountability. And to be honest with you, I would not want to be accountable for the, say, business benefit, impact, value, because
that's a good point.
For me, that's another person.
Yeah.
I know some people may want to integrate both, but I, as a person, I would not want that. I see that as a team thing, and I prefer that the dual thing between me and whoever.
Let me clarify. I think it's a very, very valid point, and I appreciate you bringing it up, and maybe I can clarify my stance. Before I was a project manager, I was a product manager. I learned marketing, but not in the sense of sales and marketing. I learned it from product management, okay? Product life cycles, strategy. Those are the things that I always thought were that I had passions to. The problem is, as a young manager, nobody's giving you the opportunity to define product strategy, right? You're allowed to do on the operational level, maybe a little bit on the tactical level. So project management was a huge opening to me. And I want to say this. I agree with you that project management and product management are not the same thing, but project management is part of the overall product life cycle.
Agree.
Now, when I say and when I coach project managers that they should be interested is, and we're going to go back to what you call the iron triangle or the triple constraint, right? That's one of the oldest foundational concepts of project management. And let's be quite honest, we never have enough time or enough budget or enough resources to do everything that we want. So in the sake of trade-offs, if you were only giving me the low-level understanding of what my options are, okay, and I don't know, as the Spice Girl said, the Spice Girl principle, what you want, what you really, really want, okay?
And you know the answer from Freddie Mercury, I want it all.
I want it all, which is a problem, right? Which is impossible, right? So if I don't know that, it makes it more difficult for me on a tactical level to adjust scope, so to use an agile term, so I can give you minimum viable product or something close to it. Maybe it has to do with my background, and I will also say this for those project managers who are out there who are listening and are completely disagreeing, who say, listen, I'm a technical project management and I couldn't give a hoot about what happens before, you tell me what you want and I'll deliver it, and that makes me valuable. I absolutely agree with you. I have the utmost respect of technical project managers, I'm just not one. I never learned. I'm not an IT person. I'm not the tech. So for me, the interest was always more a holistic one. And I think the new PMBOK also goes in that direction a little bit to say, listen, and this whole end-to-end and also discipline agile, which questions the transition from projects. Should project teams be dissolved, or shouldn't, if it takes you such a long time to create such a crack team, shouldn't you keep them? And isn't and as to use the words of SAP, they often say the beginning of the next project is always the end of the last one. I'm not saying that's in all cases that way. So that's I agree with you. It's not the same thing, and I completely respect. And you shouldn't be. You can't be held accountable for things that are above your pay grade. But let's be honest. There's a scapegoat, a cultural scapegoat, whipping boy mentality that's baked into project management. Okay, and I just saw a meme today. On LinkedIn, where there's a guy with a noose around his neck and he's crying, and it says young project manager being held accountable for a project. And then there's the guy standing next to him also has a noose around his neck and he's smiling. He said, this is your first project. So I'm not saying in all project is that way, and I think there's plenty of good examples of companies, you can name your company if you like, where that's different. But I think inherently there's a power shift. Let's be honest. Project managers giving an inordinate amount of power that is bestowed upon them for a short period of time that they normally wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and to me, I don't want to say, because you said technical, I would not consider myself a technical project manager in the sense of limiting my focus area. Like I said, I want to be at the table, but I'm a big fan of clarity.